Hello, welcome back to Chapter Day. Happy Thursday. I know there's no special anything going on for Thursday. It's not the middle of the week. It's not exactly the end, but it's still a beautiful day. It's a bit chilly here as usual. I'm sitting outside today, so I'm hoping that just the quietness of my surroundings will be my only noise. Hoping. And let's see how that works. So, yesterday we read 2 Samuel chapter 15, where we saw David, King David, running away from his son Absalom, who's coming after him to battle against him. So David flees, he and his people leave the city, and he's literally on the run from his son. Let's see what happens now in chapter 16. So what he's done, he's left one man to kind of act as a spy, go between he and Absalom, to kind of offset the advice that who is it? Abiathar is going to give to Absalom. So Ahithophel. Ahithophel was David's counselor. So now he's backing Absalom. So David sent another man by the name of Hushai to act as a go-between. So whatever Ahithophel says, Abishai is going to counteract it, and hopefully Absalom will follow what Abishai says. Let's see how that works. Verse chapter 16. And when David was a little, I'm going to put my Bible up here. When David was a little past the top of the hill, behold, Ziba, the servant of Mephibosheth, met him with a couple of asses saddled, and upon them 200 loaves of bread, and 100 bunches of raisins, and 100 of summer fruits, and a bottle of wine. And the king said unto Ziba, What meanest thou by these? And Ziba said, The asses be for the king's household to ride on, and the bread and summer fruit for the young men to eat, and the wine, that such as be faint in the wilderness may drink. And the king said, And where is thy master's son? And Ziba said unto the king, Behold, he abideth at Jerusalem, for he said, Today shall the house of Israel restore me the kingdom of my father. Then said the king to Ziba, Behold, thine are all that pertained unto Mephibosheth. And Ziba said, I humbly beseech thee, that I may find grace in thy sight, my lord, O king. And when King David came to Bahurim, behold, thence came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, the son of Jerah. He came forth and cursed still as he came. So here's what's happening. David is having some. You ever had a time where adversity just came one thing after the next? First, he has his son Absalom playing the fool, looking to go to war against his own father. Then you have this man Ziba, who was put in charge of taking care of Mephibosheth's fields and properties and possessions, as David had requested him, because Mephibosheth is Jonathan's son. Now Ziba is coming to him to report a false report on Mephibosheth, that Mephibosheth is saying that he's going to reclaim his father Saul's kingdom, because now you see people look at what's happening in and around them and use the situation to manipulate their own cause. So now he knows that there's problems with David with his own house. David has run from the city. He's come up with this lie against Mephibosheth. Let's see what happens. Verse 6. He comes now to another situation. That's two situations already. Another one, as he came to a certain place, someone of Saul's family named Shimei sees him, runs out, starts to throw stones at him and curse him. Now, I know in some places a leader is going through anywhere, and anybody tries to attack that leader, that person goes down, literally. But this is different. Let's see how it works out. Verse 6. And he cast stones at David and at all the servants of King David, and all the people and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. And thus said Shimei when he cursed, come out, thou bloody man, and thou man of Belial. The Lord hath returned upon thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned. And the Lord hath delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom thy son. And behold, thou art taken in mischief, because thou art a bloody man. Then said Abishai the son of Zeruiah unto the king, why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go over, I pray thee, and take off his head. And the king said, what have I to do with you, you sons of Zeruiah? So let him curse, because the Lord hath said unto him, curse David. Who shall then say, wherefore hast thou done this? So, oh gosh, tragedy upon one upon the other. This man who is related to Saul by the name of Shimei is cursing out David as he passes by. He's cursing out David's men. You see how people can kick you when you're down? That's the only way they'll get you. Once you fall, they're there to kick you down, kick you up. Yeah, because it's what they always wanted to do, but they couldn't do it while you were standing. But once you fall, they get on you and start to take, revenge. This is what he's doing. So Abishai wants to go over there and take his head off, which I'm sure is what would have happened by any of those FBI agents and any of our leaders who they were supposed to be guarding. There was nobody coming there to throw stones and all that nonsense and get away with it. Okay, verse 11. And David said to Abishai and to all his servants, behold, my son, which came forth of my bowels, seeketh my life. How much more now may this Benjamite do it? Let him alone and let him curse, for the Lord hath bidden him. It may be that the Lord will look on mine affliction, and that the Lord will requite me good for his cursing this day. And as David and his men went by the way, Shimei went along on the hillside over against him and cursed as he went, and threw stones at him and cast dust. And the king and all the people that were with him came weary and refreshed themselves there. And Absalom and all the people, the men of Israel, came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel with him. So David is telling them, don't bother with this man, just let him be. Who knows, the Lord maybe put him up to do it, so that's my punishment. So my own son is after me to kill me. Why not him? So just let it be. Verse 16. And it came to pass when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, was come unto Absalom, that Hushai said unto Absalom, God save the king, God save the king. And Absalom said to Hushai, is this thy kindness to thy friend? Why wentest thou not with thy friend? And Hushai said unto Absalom, nay, but whom the Lord and this people and all the men of Israel choose, his will I be, and with him will I abide. And again, whom should I serve? Should I not serve in the presence of his son, as I have served in thy father's presence? So will I be in thy presence. Then said Absalom to Ahithophel, give counsel among you what we shall do. So the man that David set up to go to Absalom, he's in Absalom's presence. He's greeting him. Absalom is asking, how come you're not with my father instead? He said, well, hey, you are the one that's reigning, and I'm going to go with you. Whoever is in charge, I'll be with them. So he trusts him, I guess. So he's telling him to counsel with Ahithophel to see what they should do next. That's Absalom talking. Verse 21. And Ahithophel said unto Absalom, go in unto thy father's concubines, which he hath left to keep the house, and all Israel shall hear that thou art abhorred of thy father. Then shall the hands of all that are with thee be strong. So they spread Absalom a tent upon the top of the house, and Absalom went in unto his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. And the counsel of Ahithophel, which he counseled in those days, was as if a man had inquired at the oracle of God. So was all the counsel of Ahithophel, both with David and with Absalom. And that's the end of chapter 16. So Ahithophel is counseling Absalom to take it a step further. I guess going into your father's wives or concubines had a real, I don't know how to say it, but it showed like you were really in charge now. So that's what he's telling him to do. Remember, David left 10 of his concubines back in the city. So that's what this counselor Ahithophel is telling Absalom, to go into them. And that will really show all Israel that you are the man in charge. Okay, and that will strengthen their allegiance towards you, I guess. My goodness, wonderful counselors, my God. But David is reaping exactly what God said he would. That a neighbor, he said, would go into his wives in the presence of all Israel. My God. It is, it is an awful thing to fall into the hands of the living God. That means, you know what, as a person that knows God and you just do foolish things, God comes down on us even harder because we should know better. But that was David's punishment. My God. Okay, that's the end of chapter 16 of 2 Samuel. Until our next reading, remember, keep listening because faith comes by hearing God's word. A little overhead noise, but